Hello and welcome to Dusty VCR, the podcast where we rewatch old movies from our childhood and decide whether they still hold up. I'm your host, Michael Lynch, and I'm joined by my co-host and sister, Rachel Lynch. Rachel, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Got the latest issue of Martha Stewart Living today.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yep. I'm pretty sure it's all going up from here.
Yeah. Any tips so far or projects you want to take on from Martha Stewart Living?
Well, what I noticed is that the cover of this issue has some sort of like strawberry dessert on it, which I made 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, you made that really... I saw that in your kitchen.
Pretty prepared.
Yeah. This is our first day in Rachel's house recording, and possibly our only day in Rachel's house recording. We're in a transitional phase between Luthier's and my house. All right, so sounds
Shout out to Luthier's!
Luthier's! And I'm also joined by our friend Zena Dreyfus. Zena, how are you?
I'm doing fine, as one might say. I'm doing fine.
I've heard that expression.
Yeah, have you heard people say that?
I've heard, the kids are saying it.
Yeah. I think that means, like, I'm doing okay.
I think it's like an acronym.
An acronym.
Yeah, like fucking incredible now, eh? Canadian kids say that.
Yeah. I just went to therapy today, so naturally I'm feeling like a more broken person than I did earlier today.
That's good.
I think that's what therapy is for. So.
I think it's a HIPAA violation for you to tell our listeners that.
Shout out to my therapist.
And we're joined today by our guest, Laura Fattaruso, who is a comedian and host of Lab Talk with Laura. It's a podcast where she interviews scientists alongside comedian co-hosts. It's funny and you learn stuff. Welcome, Laura.
Hi.
How's your week going?
It's not bad. Yeah, it was a beautiful day today, so I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, I'm having a good day as well. Before I came here, I got a massage at...
Ooh.
Yeah. It was a gift certificate from our mom, so thanks to our mom.
At the massage shop.
At the massage shop. And I thought it was great.
Who did you have?
Danny.
Danny.
Is the one you like, right?
You know what? Last time I went and I had Danny as my massage therapist. Danny, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
Danny is a sponsor of the podcast.
Last time I got a massage from her, she wouldn't stop talking about my fucking energy.
Oh.
She was talking all about my energy. She wanted to do energy healing on me. Which, like, I was like, okay, whatever. But that was the worst part, because she wasn't touching my body. And then she just was, like, talking to me during the massage and asking me, like, do I have a stressful job at work? I was like, yeah, I work in the mental health field, so yeah, it's stressful. And she was like, oh, yeah. So it's really important if you're working in a stressful job like that, you really need to take care of yourself. I was like, whoa! They never talk about that in my field. That is so wild. You need to bring this to the mental health field. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you need to do like a crossover with jobs. So when I was there, sometimes when I'm getting a massage, I kind of half fall asleep. And on one hand, I'm like...
I was trying to, but she kept chatting my fucking ear off.
Well, at some point, I'm like, oh, this is so nice that I'm sleeping. But also, I'm like, oh, I need to be awake and enjoy this massage.
Yeah.
But at one point, I kind of came back into consciousness. And then I was like, I realized my mouth was open. I was like, oh, I better close my mouth because I don't want to drool on the floor. And then I opened my eyes and I saw drool on the floor.
It's too late.
I was like, I'm going to assume that was a previous customer that didn't wake up in time. So I was disgusted by that previous customer that did that. So I woke up in time, obviously.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So today we're discussing the 1999 movie Blast from the Past, starring Brendan Fraser, Christopher Walken, and Alicia Silverstone. And this is a pick from Laura. So Laura, what was your history with this movie?
I had definitely seen the movie in the past, and at first I looked at the list and I was like, this isn't from my childhood. I was fully an adult when I watched this movie, and then I was like, oh, I was 12. So I felt like fully an adult, apparently. But yeah, I just had fond memories, but definitely hadn't seen it as an adult.
But you saw it in theaters?
I don't think I saw it in theaters. I think I probably watched it on TV, which I watched a lot of as a child. Yeah.
And Xena, had you seen this before?
No, I had not.
And so did you watch the trailer?
Did I watch the
Did
trailer?
I?
You sure did.
I sure did. Rachel was
Sounds
there.
like you had lots of thoughts about the trailer.
Well, before watching the trailer, I hadn't seen the movie, but I was working for Bob Lynch one day.
Oh, we know him.
You sure do.
He's our father.
Yeah, me and Bob were installing some windows, and he was telling me about this movie. And he gave me the whole play-by-play.
Oh.
The entire story. I forget. I think this was before we started the podcast. Yeah.
Oh, we should have had him on.
Yeah,
He could guide us through all the scenes.
Yeah, he told me the entire story. It was so great. And like as we were getting ready to watch the movie, and I was thinking about that, I was remembering our friend Laura, who used to tell me like movies in detail, like just give me the whole rundown. And I love that so much because it's just like someone is telling me a story, you know, it just happens to be a movie. So I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. And Rachel, what did you remember?
I remember really enjoying this movie. I also felt like it was a movie that I had seen much more recently, and so what was it, 1999?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was 9 when it came out.
You're actually 8. It was February.
8.
Yeah.
And do you think we saw it in theaters?
I did. I think I saw it with my friends, though.
Ooh. Whoa.
I was 13. I was pretty cool by then.
And then I think we must have gotten the
Yeah, I think we did have the
DVD.
DVD. Yeah.
It was DVDs at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember Christopher Walken being amazing in it.
Yeah.
And just so lovely and endearing.
Right. Yeah, I remember loving Christopher Walken. The thing I remembered most is that Christopher Walken and Brendan Fraser do this like snapping thing to each other. It's like this quick snap and then a thumbs up, which I love and I don't think I can do.
I know, I've been practicing.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I think I used to practice it too.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And the shooting finger.
This is the best part for our listeners.
Yeah.
Do you guys see what we mean?
You see? Do you guys get it?
Yeah, I remember really liking them and liking Sissy Spacek as well. Sissy Spacek is a tongue twister, and the mom for our Xenas.
Oh my gosh!
For Xena.
So I took notes. I wrote down Sissy Spacek. I even remember who she is, but I think it's because Bob told me so much about the movie.
Okay.
And Bob loves Sissy Spacek.
Oh wait, so she plays the mom?
Yeah,
I didn't realize
Christopher
that
Walken.
was her. Like I know Sissy Spacek, but I didn't recognize her.
It's Carrie, the horror movie Carrie. Sissy Spacek plays the titular Carrie. So Laura, let's start with you. Like after watching it, what did you think?
I thought it held up really well.
I
had a really good time watching it. My sister walked through while I was watching it and was like, "What are you watching? This is a really good movie." And I also just gave somebody, like, before coming here, the full story of the entire movie. Because they were like, "I've never seen that." I was like, "Let me tell you that." It's a really good movie. It had a lot of really cute moments. I mean, it's a 90s movie. I guess it's the end of the 90s.
The last 90s movie.
Yeah, it's just like barely holding on to the 90s. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Before everything, just like... Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed watching it. It was a good experience.
And Rachel, what do you think?
I really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy Alicia Silverstone as much as I thought I would. I kind of left the movie feeling like she really just got into that role because of Clueless.
She's playing the same character as Clueless.
She is Clueless. She's being Clueless in that movie. And then at the end of the movie, I'm sorry, I don't want to jump ahead. I know you're giving me the eyes. You're giving me the
I didn't even realize I was giving you. But I think we're going to have the same note. That she starts narrating.
She starts narrating like it's Clueless.
Yeah.
When that started happening, I was so embarrassed for the movie.
Right.
They were doing that. That was humiliating.
That's interesting because when I was watching it, my sister had a friend over and she came in and started watching at the very end with me and complained about Alicia Silverstone narrating. But she was complaining about her voice being annoying. She was like, I don't know, it sounds like she has allergies. And she was like, anybody else could have narrated this, which I don't think was true because it was definitely about like her relationship to the character.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel you. She was kind of annoying in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a favorite pet peeve of our parents, or maybe just our mom. She really doesn't like when characters in the movie start narrating, unless they're the main character. But like the best example of that is Matilda. Danny DeVito is the villain.
She has a specific issue with Matilda.
I thought it's in general.
No. She has a specific issue with Matilda, which is that Danny DeVito directed the movie, he stars in the movie as the bad guy, and then he's the narrator, and the narrator has like a positive, like a very sweet spin on the whole story. So she doesn't like that it's like, wait, what? Like, why is this voice the bad guy and the good guy?
Right.
That seems valid.
Yeah.
I never noticed or thought about that, but it makes sense. It's a valid complaint.
So, Zena, what did you think after watching it?
I enjoyed it. I'm not sure whether I liked listening to Bob tell me the story of it or watching the actual movie more, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. It was kind of, I had to like get over a little bit of the cheesiness factor, but once I kind of sank into that, then I could enjoy it.
I think it gets cheesier as the movie goes on. I feel like it's less cheesy at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then the more Alicia Silverstone is involved, the cheesier it gets.
Right.
Mostly because I think she's just not that great at acting.
I think she's not bad at acting, it just wasn't the role for her.
Maybe.
I was thinking about who I was...
The role that she can play is...
I guess I've never seen her do anything else.
That's
the role she was born to play.
That's the role she was born to play and can only play.
I was thinking about who to did you guys have any thoughts about like who you would want to see instead of Alicia Silverstone?
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking Drew Barrymore. I think Drew Barrymore can pull it off.
Cute.
Yeah.
Yep, that sounds amazing.
So I think it's another my best friend's wedding situation because I did not like this. I thought there were a lot of cute parts, but overall I found it really frustrating. I really, really disliked the relationship between Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone.
Their relationship is pretty bad.
What do you mean, like the acting, the chemistry?
I thought they had zero chemistry. It made no sense for her to be interested in him at all. No. And like everything they did together made no sense. Like it was just like illogical, like their whole dynamic.
I really liked the dynamic.
Really?
He's like sweet and innocent and knows absolutely nothing of the world, and she's like, the tough cookie who's been like...
Ooh, this is what you're seeking in relationships. You need a guy...
I'm looking for the sweet and innocent, and I'm the broken and the rough and the rugged.
Who only likes legs and butts and hair.
Legs and butts and hair. Is that in the movie?
Yeah, she's saying that guys who like her like legs and butts and hair, but she also likes legs and butts and hair, so she has to...
That's the problem.
I like hairy butt hair. Leggy hair butts.
So, at the beginning, like, they're having this party, and it's during the Cold War, and they go into the basement, and then a plane hits them, and they think there's been a nuclear strike. But... I love the bunker. That was like actually my favorite part of the movie. Everything in the bunker. I would voluntarily live in that bunker. It seemed great.
God, you sick fuck.
I think that's true of the dad in the story also.
Yeah,
right? That like develops into a theme that he's just like content to be there.
Yes, like, that's his
happy place.
It's his happy place, almost like he's glad it happened. Like
like he's in control of everything.
Yeah. So true, and that's what's so great. I love when they first go down there, and he has his little freak out where he's like, "Oh my god!" It's like so clearly like it's a performance, but it's not like Christopher Walken overperforming. It's like he's really doing it as the character,
right?
As if he's trying to play up like the drama.
Oh, we have to stay here for 35
god,
minutes.
we have to stay for so long.
And at some point,
just loves it.
Sorry, at some point during that, like they fall over or something, or like there's a big rumble, and Sissy Spacek had been running out of the house with a pot, like a soup or something.
Roast.
Oh, yeah.
Pot roast, that's right, her pot roast and her, what are these called? Oven mitts,
Yeah.
And she falls over and she's still holding her pot roast.
Sissy Spacek was just great. I love like just her reactions to everything.
Oh my God,
like
yeah.
they played off each other so well. I wanted the movie to just be about them too.
Yeah, that's true. That would be.
They have a cuter romance.
Cute movie.
Well, they don't have such a cute romance because she becomes an alcoholic and is sad. But
right, yeah. The premise of the movie kind of bothered me in that he immediately locks them down there without her consent. I'm like, I would fuck him up, honestly.
Right.
But like, I know
you can curse on this podcast.
If he's just like, by the way, we're stuck down here for 30
Right.
I'd be like, I didn't make that decision. Nobody talked to me about that decision. Like, there's two of us, 50% vote, maybe.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
But I just love they have like a grocery store down there. And that stuff's all great. And then
with the shopping cart.
Yeah,
I love that. That's so cute.
And so then Christopher Walken has his heart attack and sends Brendan Fraser out into the world. So he's like kind of wandering around. I like that less than I thought I would. When he's like, oh my God, the sky. And he's just like overwhelmed, like so impressed by everything. It seems like he should have been, I guess that's like sort of a reasonable, but he seems surprised by everything. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like he should have been expecting to see all this stuff.
I mean, maybe he didn't think about it, though, until he was out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you've never been in that situation, have you?
That's true. But if I like went to space, I've never been to space, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, space, wow. I'd be like, wow, it's beautiful, this is great.
Really?
Yeah, that's I prepared my reaction to space.
I think it's always different than what you expected. Like, he's only been in, like, a place where he can see, like, you know, the farthest is, like, 2 rooms away. And then he gets out into the big world. I watched this movie a week and a half ago, so I'm having a little bit of trouble remembering it. But he goes up on an 18th floor of something.
So he's in a hotel.
And he can see so far away.
Yeah.
And
kind of freaks out.
He acts like he's like falling almost.
Right.
Like he grabs the furniture. To be like braced and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, the other scene I really liked in the like him coming out is when he talks to the butcher. So he goes to the supermarket because he's got this list of all the stuff he has to buy for the bunker. And he goes to the butcher and he has to buy like 500 pounds of meat. And the
Who
butcher,
is that guy?
I don't know. I don't remember him in anything else, but he's just great in just like this deadpan, like
he's somebody.
Not reacting to anything. Brendan Fraser's freaking out. He's like, because the butcher says like, we can send that to your home. And he's like, I just realized I don't know where home is. I'm lost. And the butcher's just like, okay.
That seems accurate for like what I would expect.
Would you excuse me? Gladly.
I thought Brendan Fraser was surprisingly like capable of navigating the world for somebody who had never interacted with anyone by his parents.
Yeah.
Like I thought he was like really outgoing and good at figuring out where to go. Like considering he never navigated any space whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean I think part of the almost joke of that is like the dad really thinks he's like really good at interacting with people and making jokes with people and being like all buddy and super charismatic, and so it feels like he's sort of passed that on to Brendan Fraser, whether or not that's been like earned.
Right.
You know?
Definitely.
Yeah. So then we get to the baseball card where he tries to sell his baseball cards for money. And that's where he meets Alicia Silverstone. By the way, we're going to alternate pronunciations of Brendan Fraser and Fraser and Alicia and Alicia.
I'm already entirely confused.
So
what's the right one?
I think it's really Alicia and Fraser. Yeah. But I'm going to keep forgetting.
Oh.
I'm going to start calling her Silverstone.
Silverstone. So yeah, he meets Alicia Silverstone, and she rescues him from getting a bad deal on those cards. But it drove me crazy that like he keeps dropping the cards and they're just like haphazardly picking them off the floor. Like those cards are worth like $1 million.
I know, she does that at the end when she runs to him.
Yeah.
She runs to him and she throws his box of very valuable cards into the sidewalk.
Yeah, they're just throwing them all over the place.
All willy-nilly.
I was just like, take care of those. What are you doing? And then she drives him to the hotel, like he's up there. I like that line where somehow the bellhop asks him how old he is, and he says he's 35, and the bellhop's like, oh, you look younger, like 25. And Brendan Fraser's like, well, I guess being up here makes people look younger. And the guy's like, you mean on the 18th floor? And he's like, yes, on the 18th floor. And there was also that good line where he's like, and you dial 9 to get out. And Brendan Fraser's like, of what?
Yeah.
I love that because that is a thing that really did confuse me for a long time. Like, I really didn't understand when people said dial 9 to get out. I just had no idea what that meant. And I think when I saw this movie, even then, I still didn't know. And I was like...
What's the joke?
What is it? What is it, people? Come on.
The thing I thought was really funny about the hotel scene is the front desk clerk is like, we'll need a card. And so he's like, oh, of course. And he takes out a baseball card. And then she kind of laughs. And then the next scene is he's checking into his room.
Yeah, how do you get in there?
They do accept baseball cards.
Can you? That made me worry though. I'm like, if you're like lose your wallet, can you get a hotel room with cash if you don't have like ID? Is it?
I think it's
you can get with a baseball card.
With a baseball card. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah.
Cool.
Only a baseball card.
Yeah. And so then Alicia Silverstone comes back and he convinces her to be like his butler, I guess. I think I did enjoy it up to this part, and then like after they start building up this romance, I'm like, like nothing about this makes sense, and
it's very uncomfortable after that.
Yeah.
It's interesting that that's where you're like, this doesn't make sense.
Right. Like, everything else I'm on board.
Totally with it until then.
Yeah, the bunker, I can accept the bunker that lasts for 35 years. That's all fine. So yeah, she's like helping him find stuff. And then at some point we get introduced to her, it's her roommate or her best friend?
Her roommate.
It's her roommate.
/ best friend.
Dave Foley, who I knew from Kids in the Hall growing up. But at this point he hadn't really been in movies. How did you guys feel about Dave Foley?
Also, yeah, I'm blanking out completely.
He's also on News Radio, I think.
Yeah,
News Radio. I think that's what I knew him from at the time.
I think he's pretty funny. I
Yeah.
enjoy his presence in general.
I liked him.
Oh, I didn't like him.
Oh.
I felt like he was, maybe it's just like there weren't that many gay characters in the 90s, and so like just having any gay character was interesting. But I feel like looking back, it's just like a very broad, he's like a cliche sassy gay man.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's true. He's pretty, there's not a lot of depth to that character.
Right.
I feel like as many things from the 90s do, if you revisit them, like this movie did really traffic in like gender stereotypes, racial stereotypes. It's also like kind of egregiously white. Like the only black characters are like people they run into on the street who they're like, oh my god, you're black, or you're black and trans, and like you know, like those are like so like I've recently like watched a couple episodes of Friends and been like, oh my god, like the intensity of the difference between then and now in terms of like how people talk about gender interactions and things like that is just kind of striking. So that's just like a throwback thing, I guess. You know, like.
The other 90s thing I like is Dave Foley starts quizzing Brendan Fraser because he doesn't. Brendan Fraser claims he's from Alaska, and Dave Foley starts quizzing him.
That made no sense.
Which he's like asking all these like really minutia.
What's the state bird or something? Right,
which all people from Alaska know.
Right.
But then he like runs out of the room, and Alicia Silverstone's like, "Oh, he's going to look it up on his computer." And Brendan Fraser's like, "He has a computer in his house." But the funny thing now is, like, that's already dated because it'd be like, why isn't he just checking it out on his phone?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the time it was like, oh my gosh, he has a computer in his house. Like, he doesn't have it in his pocket. That's lame. So, despite him clearly being in love with Alicia Silverstone says she can't be in a relationship with him and takes him on this quest to find a wife. Oh, but before that, we meet Alicia Silverstone's ex, who is
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, what do you know him from?
I don't even know, really.
This was like one of his first roles. So do you recognize? Do you know?
Oh yeah, he's from Serenity. Firefly, and then also I've been watching Santa Clarita Diet.
Yes.
So which is funny because he's just like a head in that. Like he's a decapitated undead head.
Right.
So it's funny to see him, and he kind of looks. I mean,
he looks the same.
Pre-decay,
yeah.
Like he looks the same.
Yeah. But yeah, this was one of his first movies. This was before he did Firefly, so it was like little baby Nathan Fillion. So
yeah, so I didn't know what it was called. I knew he was from some kind of sci-fi thing.
Yeah. So then they go to the club to like find a wife for Brendan Fraser. What did you guys think of that scene?
So the question that I have from that is, did people in the 90s always wear suits when they went to clubs, or just people in California?
Well, it was a 50s themed club, which...
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they didn't know anything. They, don't know that he's from the 60s, but they decide to just bring him to this club. And this is, they know everybody at this club. Everybody they run into, it's like, oh, hi, Sheila. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Nathan Fillion. They're just running into everybody that they know that, this is the hot spot that everybody in Hollywood goes to.
Yeah. Are they in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Asked and answered. But, what did you think of... Everybody Brendan Fraser talks to is really into Brendan Fraser. He goes up to that woman and he's he's supposed to come up with a pickup line and it's funny and I forget what she says, non-committal, and he's excuse me, have you seen my Congressional Medal of Honor? And she's like, ha 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 ha, I love you. And then she and her friend are both really hot for Brendan Fraser.
I don't think it's because of that line. I think it's because they saw Brendan Fraser.
Is he supposed to be do you feel like Brendan Fraser's that hot that
yeah.
women... Really?
Yeah, I think he's hot enough that if he goes to talk to a woman in a club, yeah, she'd be like, hi.
I feel like he's supposed to look... I don't know if he's supposed to look super hot. I feel like he's supposed to look kind of like a
boyish.
Nerdy, boyish guy dressed up like an adult.
Yeah.
But I thought they were we're drunk and we have no idea what this dude is talking about, but let's go.
But yeah, I think in the world of the movie, he is supposed to be super hot. I was watching with Allegra and she's like, is he supposed to be really hot? I don't get that.
Well, he's they dress him up at that point.
They do
he's
dress him,
yeah. He's normal
right.
clothes.
Yeah.
He's wearing an actual suit.
And
these people haven't interacted with him that much. They don't get all the weird behavioral stuff. So they're just
right.
hot guy in a suit, wants to dance, cool. And,
right.
And then he's I know his mom taught him to dance, but they definitely did not show her.
Right, yeah.
And he's was he flipping his mom around?
He's dipping her and almost kissing her.
Did the dad come in and do both of them at once? I don't understand. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a little bit exaggerated feeling, but yeah, I don't know. I had no issue with the women being really into him because I'm he's really hot.
Oh, I think that's a thing. Even watching it as a kid, I was like, this seems weird. That they're so excited to talk to him. I guess we're at this point now where Dave Foley I think they come home. Oh, because he takes home that woman from the club, and Alicia Silverstone's mad because she thinks they slept together, and she's getting really jealous, and she's gonna go over there and fight this woman. And then he shows up at Alicia Silverstone's house, and Dave Foley comes up to him when Alicia Silverstone's not there, and he's like, "You're a nice boy, but what she needs is a nice man." And then, instantly, he's a man. He's been this naive boy the entire movie, and then from that point forward, he's just immediately oh, okay, then I'm just going to do that.
He's come over here, Alicia Silverstone. I'm going to tear your pants so I can fix your knee.
Yeah,
baby.
That was in my notes. I was like, this is the climax of the movie where he rips her pants up and he's like, dude, these are ruined, right? And you just,
Yeah, what did you guys think of that?
It was hot.
What?
I thought it was supposed to be hot, and it made me so uncomfortable because the chemistry had not been built up. Right. There just hadn't been any chemistry built up, and so it was just kind of
Well, it wasn't that sexual, actually, because he was, just taking care of her wound. It was just, powerful. He was,
sexual.
It was, but it was also, very platonic.
I thought that was sexy.
When he's blowing on her wound.
Mm. The wound blowing, yeah.
The wound blowing. Michael likes a good wound blow.
Yeah, I thought if those were my pants, I'd be annoyed because well, they're not. I guess he
checks with her.
She did say they were ruined.
Says, these are ruined, right? Yeah. And then he does.
But
they had a tiny rib. It was no more pants.
Well, she could still wear those. They sell those at Urban Outfitters for $70.
Yeah.
Guys, I feel like I'm getting a big F right now. I just, don't barely remember this freaking movie. I do remember the ripped jeans scene. I'm coming, it's like I blacked out and, I'm coming to a little bit. I'm getting a few memories here and there, but I'm mostly gone.
Well, you were really drunk when you watched this movie, right?
No,
as you are
really
with all of
stoned, not drunk.
That makes sense.
I was gonna
that makes sense because you're
rewatch
Xena.
Right? Yeah, I was gonna rewatch it, but then I
got stoned.
Then I got stoned.
I actually there is kind of something about this movie. Like, usually my notes are like funny things, but my notes for this one was just like, what scenes are happening? So I'm like, I'm immediately gonna forget this. I don't know what it was about this movie.
Huh. Tell me what this is. Happy Jesus, I wrote.
Happy Jesus.
Just look. And I wrote that it's the original Just Look at It. So there's this YouTube video, there's these two guys, they're looking at this car, one of them's real funny, he's saying, just look at it, just look at it. You gotta watch it.
Would you look at this?
Just take a look at this.
So, but the Happy
Jesus? Who's Happy Jesus? I don't even know.
Maybe
and
it's the cult
what
guy.
Is it? Underneath it says Baby Man. These are my stoner notes for the movie.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that. Just like something about Happy Jesus seems familiar, but it's not coming back to me.
So for the listeners, what Xena's notes look like here, it looks like Xena woke up sweating profusely from a dream and started scribbling onto a piece of paper about whatever her dream was. There's about just 6 notes on here.
Yeah, I did want more Christopher Walken. I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Alicia Silverstone tries to have Brendan Fraser committed, and then he disappears.
It gets really serious.
There've been a couple movies that I've watched recently where somebody's like trying to commit someone.
Oh yeah,
And
this is your movie pet peeve.
Yeah, well now that I know how that works, I'm just like, guys, couldn't you do like a little bit of research to find out what really happens? Like, it's not that complicated. People don't like. We're not in an age anymore where you can just call up the authorities and be like, yo, this person's real crazy. And like all of a sudden somebody comes up and like takes away that person and they go away forever.
Kind of as if they're like a stray dog. You're just like, get the truck in the net.
Yeah, like, come on over, this person's real whacked.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen like that.
This reminds me of somebody like was talking recently about like these things that only exist in like movie and TV land, and it's because they're like useful devices.
Oh yeah,
like the Sadie Hawkins dance, like where girls ask boys.
Oh, I've been to that.
You've been to one?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, okay, I've never heard of an actual one.
that?
I've seen a lot on TV.
It's just a girls ask boys dance. Actually, so they had that where we grew up. It was called the Vincents. It was a girls ask guys dance.
I hadn't heard of like an actual one of those. Okay, well that blows that.
We live in a town that's made just for movie plot devices. They manufacture movie plot devices there.
Right. I'm forgetting what the other one
Also, when people would hang up the phone in our town, we'd get the dial tone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And whenever somebody got married, they'd say, does anybody have any reason why these two should not be wed?
Right, yeah. That always happen in real life either. Yeah. But it does happen in movies a lot. Where they're just like, we're here to take you away.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
But the thing I thought was so funny about that was like that they would have found his story so unbelievable. They're like, there's this guy that showed up and he behaves like he's from the 60s. He's got all these baseball cards from the 60s. He has those mysterious millions of dollars that like never end. And he says he's from the 60s? That's ridiculous. He's crazy.
Lock him up!
Well, wait, she doesn't see the like bonds and stocks that he has.
Not yet.
Later,
but she had seen the baseball cards. And she had seen that has unlimited money. And he's like, what does she think he's buying all this stuff for?
Right, well the story is that he lives in Alaska and they need to... Well, they like conjecture about that, but they don't outright ask him.
Right.
But what is she even trying to do by having him committed? Like, what's the reason for that?
Well,
why would you do
he
that?
told her about the bunker and she was scared that he was going to take her. I mean, I get that.
Yeah, that was kind of scary.
Yeah, like this guy who says he wants to marry somebody is like,
lock them in a bunker for 10 years.
I kind of get that.
I mean, she's been with this guy, like hanging out with this guy for like, how long is this period of time that they're like...
I'm thinking 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I mean, she's hanging out with him this whole time and he's just been like extremely respectful and keeps his distance and like would never want to hurt her feelings ever in any kind of way.
Right.
So why would she suddenly be like, oh my god, he's talking about a bunker.
Right.
Gotta call him into the mental hospital.
Well, I think this is a good question for Xena because Xena is looking for a naive boy who has never had exposure to the real world. If you met a Brendan Fraser and it was like, you got along with him great for 2 weeks, and he's like, Xena, gotta come with me to the bunker for 10 years, what do you say?
Does he say say 10 years? Does he say it?
I don't know if he says 10 years.
Because that's how much supplies they got, right? Like, the dad was like, we need to stay in the bunker.
But this is the scenario for Xena.
I would say absolutely. That's just what I'm looking for, because, like, the real scary ones are always the ones that are the most innocent, you know? Because they have that real dark side, like, gonna take you down to the bunker.
And you do want that.
Doesn't everyone?
Okay. Laura, how do you feel? If a Brendan Fraser type, you get along great, 2 weeks, says come to the bunker.
Like I said, I get her reaction of being, like, scared and that he might be dangerous. I don't know. I don't think... Yeah, I see it as a reasonable...
People.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have called the cops immediately, though.
Right.
Like, that reaction does seem disproportionate. Or not the cops, but...
No, my actual reaction...
I don't know what she called.
My actual reaction to the movie was, like, oh my god, like, there's this really nice guy, but, like, oh, finally he's showing his, like, dark side, like, oh my god. Like, yeah,
I'm going to the bunker!
Realistically, I would probably be like, show me the bunker. And, like, feel it out. Because, like you said, he hadn't been threatening up until that point. Like, so until he actually does something threatening, I would definitely be like, okay, like, where is it? Yeah,
right.
See this bunker.
And doesn't he say, like, my father wants me to bring you down?
Yeah, a nice, healthy girl.
Like, that's scary. That's scary.
That's kind of...
But if you go down, his dad is Christopher Walken and his mom is Sissy Spacek. That's sweetening the deal for me.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I want to, like, bring up from my notes, I noticed that when the dad has the heart attack is when the mom says that she can't stay in the bunker any longer.
Oh, yeah.
And I just, like, in my notes, I was like, the dad has a heart attack as soon as she expresses her needs. Like, he, like, can't deal. Anyway, I just needed to revisit that because I wrote it down and I wanted to put it.
No, so do you think maybe that was a fake?
No, I think it was devastating to him that she didn't want to stay in the bunker forever.
I see.
But, like, yeah.
I want to talk about the scene where they discover the stock certificates. So Jay Foley and Alicia Silverstone go to the hotel and find all these, like, old stock certificates for Microsoft and IBM and stuff. And they call their friend that they had encountered at the dance club, the 50s dance club. And do you remember how they represented that he's a stockbroker? He's wearing suspenders. And so you're just like, obviously he's a stockbroker. And he's like, from Microsoft and IBM, those are worth millions. And they're like, oh. And then Alicia Silverstone, like, congratulates herself for liking somebody before she finds out he's a millionaire.
But
like,
she doesn't.
But she had him committed.
She doesn't.
She doesn't like him, or she doesn't...
She only likes him when he starts being into other ladies.
And she did know he was a millionaire. Like,
yeah,
he just had unlimited money.
Yeah.
So, it's wrong on both counts.
And then once she finds out that he has even more money, she's just like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm such a good person.
So in. I am in. And then she's like, suddenly, the picture-perfect girlfriend, wanting to meet the parents, wanting to spend all her time with them. Well, that's the thing, when she jumps out of the car, when she sees him on the sidewalk walking around, and she's like, Adam! And she gets out of the car. That felt so, like, that's the moment where that movie turns into Clueless.
Yeah.
Complete, like, fully transforms. Then it's just the end of Clueless at that point. And she, like, what am I thinking of where she does the same thing in Clueless, where she kind of, like, calls out to somebody, maybe even, like, in the rain like that.
Well, there's a scene in Clueless where she's, like, has this realization that she likes Josh. And she's like, wait a minute, I like Josh. And then, like, everything kind of lights up behind her. And there's
I think
fountains.
that's kind of what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Like, it felt exactly like that.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie, she's narrating.
Right.
Like a dummy.
Right.
It's so irritating. And it's Clueless.
Right.
I think you're so right when you say Drew Barrymore as
Drew Barrymore would be great.
Alicia Silverstone. That would have been a perfect combination.
Yeah, because I feel like she can be sweeter than Alicia Silverstone.
I think she can be sweeter, and I think she can kind of give both a little bit. Like, she's not completely a total sweetheart, but she can give both sides.
Right. Yeah, and then I think that's pretty much it. And then they just they use all the money to build a new house that's kind of like a bunker. And they bring Christopher Walken and they explain to him that there was no That was the other part of Alicia Silverstone's narration that I thought was really funny. I don't know if you guys caught that. She's like, and Adam explained to his father there was no nuclear holocaust. Like, she can't pronounce Holocaust. She says like Holocaust. No.
I did not notice that, but I did like that his dad didn't believe that.
Right.
Yeah, the Russians just like decided to stop being the Soviet Union, and he's like, I'm sure.
Like, I bet they asked for aid, didn't they? Like, yeah, they did.
Yeah, that was funny.
All right, discussion question.
If your mother had been pregnant with you and had you as a baby in a bomb shelter at that time, what would be the things that you'd be exposed to? So, like, what would you be brought up with, basically, from the year that you were born?
Our real mom. We're like in a time capsule. So, like, you and I are in a time capsule from like the 80s.
It might not be you and I because, I mean, it would be just you.
No, you could come along.
Yeah, but so you would be born
in
1985.
Right.
Like, Mom
You'd
would
be frozen in 1990.
Right.
Yeah.
You would be frozen in 1985.
Right.
I would be frozen in 1990.
Right.
Zena would be frozen in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be frozen in what?
1987.
1987.
So we got a good cadence here with all our
I
ages.
know. And also just based on like what your parents liked, because like Brendan Fraser in this movie, his parents are very into like swing and Harry Como, right?
Yeah, and Hot Dr. Pepper.
Hot Dr. Pepper.
So
let's go chronologically.
I'm thinking just like I'm trying to think about like what was in the home videos that we watched from around when I was born. So I would be driving an electric car, which is not too different than my life today. But in these old home videos, there's this little electric car that I'm driving, and like it's a home video that we hadn't found for like 25 years. Like it was recorded, and then we just like never watched the video. And I'm driving in this little electric car that nobody in my family remembers me ever having. And what's more is like I remember being like 4 or 5 and seeing kids on Power Wheels and being like, oh, I'm so jealous that they get like Power Wheels. That'd be so much fun to have. Zero memory that I like at some point had the same thing. And
I think this is proof of alternate timelines.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like accidentally this video slipped between timelines.
Right.
It didn't really happen in your life, but it did.
Yeah. I feel like my life wouldn't be that different. Like I feel like our parents would have computers down there. I'd become a computer programmer, which is also my life.
Mm-hmm. But would you be like stuck in the past in computer programming? Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, you had a computer in your house in 1985?
Yeah.
So it was like Unix?
I don't know what operating system it was.
Our
Probably
parents
not
are
Unix.
both computer programmers.
Okay.
So
I think it was DOS.
we've always had computers in the
Yes.
house.
So yeah, I think I would just be the same for it. I was like, we were talking before about how like I thought the bunker was great. Like I think I'd still think the bunker's great.
I'd
just be Christopher Walken.
I could really see you thriving in that lifestyle.
Yeah, I should talk to Allegra about this bunker.
So I'm buying a new house. This one's got a basement.
You seem healthy.
The movie did make me wonder how many people had bunkers or do have bunkers. I'm sure very few were like are anywhere near as elaborate as that.
Right.
But like I think that would be hard to like take a census of because of the inherent secretiveness of people trying to make bunkers. You know? So I feel like we have no sense of that. Like what percentage of the population has a bunker?
Mm-hmm.
Do you not have a bunker? Ooh, this is awkward. We all
obviously not.
Talk about it. So.
Considered rude to brag about your bunker.
It is.
It's called bunker bragging.
So what movies and music and TV, like what kind of
Wizard of Oz.
pop culture would you be exposed to? Was Wizard of Oz? Yeah, Wizard of Oz was out.
Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
Yeah. Definitely happened.
Yeah. Who asked that question?
One of the things that my mom jokes about is that I like would always watch The Wizard of Oz. I'd watch it every day. I don't know when that would end.
What music would you be listening to?
Oldies. Our parents always listened to oldies. And so like even as a teenager, I was like so confused when I got to high school because like everybody was listening to pop music and I only knew oldies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We stopped it was when I got to middle school. Then I think my parents kind of like switched over. Your parents too.
Which Which oldies?
I don't know, like the Beach Boys, and I think stuff like the 50s and 60s. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of just oldie stations. And then, like, I realized part of being a social tween and teen was, like, listening to music. So I started listening to music. And I guess, I don't know if it was because of me, like, to like, support me and trying to be cool, that they started listening to, like, Z100 was the pop music station where we lived. So they, like, switched over to listen to that. But before that, it was, like, all oldies.
Huh. So, going chronologically, what was your life been like?
Yeah, my parents were really into records, so we would have records, so it wouldn't have been that different in that way from, like, what Brendan Fraser experienced, although there would be definitely, like, a lot of jazz and some Michael Jackson, and then, like, yeah. And I would definitely be playing, like, Atari, I think. Yeah, it's hard, because I don't really remember what happened when I was born so much. It's like,
yeah.
You know,
right.
But
yeah.
Those are the things that were definitely established in my house.
Yeah.
By that time.
So, I mean, mine would be similar to you, but I don't know that I would be all into computers.
Uh-huh.
Maybe.
Well, yeah.
So,
yeah, probably not.
So, 1990. Yeah, I guess I don't know what movies we'd be watching.
3 Men and a Little Lady.
Was that before 1990 though?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, 3 Men and a Baby.
3 Men and a Baby.
Yeah.
But we watched more 3 Men.
Yeah, we were a 3 Men and a Little Lady family.
We were. Yeah, so I don't really know what else we'd be watching. I guess I probably would have been on the Wizard of Oz train, but that movie scares the shit out of me.
Oh, it does?
Yes!
Oh
my god!
Impending Doom. You know she knows about Impending Doom.
Yeah.
That movie is one of the scariest
movies. There are, like, scary harpy scenes, too.
Yeah, and she's, like,
which is pretty scary.
In the woods and the trees trying to grab her.
Yeah.
Did you say scary herpes scenes?
Scary herpes scene where she has sex with the scarecrow.
You saw the porn.
That was what I loved watching every day. I was like, can't get enough of this porn Wizard of Oz.
What would the porn version of Wizard of Oz be called?
Wizard of Cox.
Yeah, for the next porn or dirty dancing, you guys gotta find the porn version of Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Report back the title.
Oh yeah, we'll work on that. What would your life be like?
So my mom played a lot of David Bowie and Led Zeppelin, some U2, some Green Day, probably some Beatles. I played Sega, but I guess that's because I have older siblings. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it was made before my time.
So should we go on to the Whoop ratings?
Oh yeah.
So Zena, would you like to lead off? Traditionally, you kick off the Whoop rating.
Sure. I think I would give this movie a whoop.
One whoop.
Give it one whoop. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we rate movies out of whoops. There's no maximum number of whoops, so you can kind of just give it
minimum either.
No minimum either.
Okay.
You can give it
negative.
whatever your heart feels.
Negative whoops.
Rachel, what are your whoops?
I'll go with Zena on this one. I'll give it a whoop.
Yeah. What about you, Laura?
I'm gonna go 2 whoops.
2 whoops.
Whoop.
Okay. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel good about it.
I think I'm just 1 whoop. I'm in team 1 whoop.
Yeah.
Even though I think there's something off about the scale.
All right, 13 whoops. I changed my answer.
I might give it 2 whoops.
Okay.
I think that's what I gave my best friend's wedding. It's probably about equal.
Yeah. Okay, so we got the whoops. Now we are going to debut the newest game for Dusty VCR, and the game is called Candid, Stranded, or Enchanted. So, Laura, the game's for you.
Okay.
I'm going to name 3 celebrities, and you have to pick Candid, Stranded, or Enchanted. So Candid is you can have a candid conversation with them. You get to ask them any question or any series of questions. They have to answer you 100% honestly.
Okay.
And you can give them any feedback you want, and they have to take it to heart. You can't control them, but you can talk to Trump and be like, hey, you should tweet less because people don't like that. And then he would be like, okay, I'll really think about that.
I'm sure he will.
So in this situation, they're automatically going to be receptive to?
They're automatically receptive. They're not automatically going to do it.
So there's some reason they're receptive, which is
it's like you're like a close confidant.
Yeah.
So they'll be.
Are we all playing or just Laura?
Just Laura. Maybe we'll switch it up and assign some to you. Stranded is you'd be stranded with them on a desert island, and Enchanted is a romantic weekend with them, and you're guaranteed that they'd be really into you. So like anything you want to do with them, they're down for it.
Okay, wait, is this like fuck, marry, kill, but nicer?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So the first group is Jim Carrey, Janeane Garofalo, Ray Romano.
Oh. Wait, Jim Carrey, Janeane Garofalo, and Ray Romano?
Right.
Okay. Who would I want? I think the toughest is like, who would I want to be stranded with? And the answer is definitely not Ray Romano. He's definitely bummed from that category.
Why?
He just annoys me. I just can imagine him complaining about everything wherever we're stranded, and I just don't want to hear it, Ray.
But everybody loves him.
Yeah.
I think he would be my desert island
Really?
pick. Yeah.
Wow. Oh. Okay. So would I rather talk to Ray Romano? So he's gonna be my candid.
Candid. Okay.
Yeah, Ray Romano is solidly my candid.
Is there something you want to tell Ray Romano or find out?
I think I would give him a long lecture about just patriarchy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just pulling his own weight, respecting the work that his mother and his wife do.
Sure.
Those kinds of things.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what he's been up to in the last 20 years, though.
He just had a new stand-up special that's not very good.
Oh, he did a new stand-up special?
That's kind of like his old stand-up specials.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think I've seen any of those, honestly, either. He's a nice enough seeming guy.
His old stand-ups are really good.
I could see myself having a good heart-to-heart with him, though, for sure. And then, so it's...
You gotta go on
Candid.
Romantic date or be stranded with Jim Carrey or Jim
Okay, so Jim Carrey would be a fun fling. He's got a lot of energy, but I don't know if I would want to be stranded with him because I feel like he would just be always centering himself in whatever was happening. Yeah. So he's the Enchanted, and then definitely stranded with Janeane Garofalo. Okay. I feel like she would be a practical buddy to be stranded with.
That's true.
A good balance of goal oriented, but also willing to revel in how shitty a situation is.
Yeah.
That sounds like a solid plan. Yeah.
I feel like if I asked you all of these, we're just going to be hammering you. So maybe we'll spread them around. So how about...
The thing is, I don't know if that I'll know that.
Oh, you'll know them.
I was like, oh yeah, Jim Carrey.
No, you'll know. You'll know.
I'll know.
So Zena, Bill Clinton.
Okay.
He was the president of America. Bill Clinton, Elizabeth Warren, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Ooh.
Do you know the last one?
No, I don't know. Alex.
She's a new senator who's
Don't give her...
okay.
I'll help.
Wait, let's swap in somebody.
I'll show you which ones Zena will know.
No, well, let's just swap in somebody from this. So
we don't want to just make her watch the video of AOC dancing right now.
Joe Biden. Bill Clinton, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden.
Why are you giving her all politicians?
Bill, Elizabeth, and Joe Biden. Okay.
Yeah.
Candid, stranded,
Billy, Lizzie, or Joey.
Billy, Lizzie, Joey. Yeah, it's hard to know which way to go about this. Who do I want to be stranded with the least? Do I want to fuck the least? Or which one of them would I want to fuck the most? But also, I just want to have a candid conversation with Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
But you could talk to her all the live long
I could talk to her while I was fucking her. Yeah. While
you're fucking her and while you're stranded.
Yeah, totally. Who's gonna have the best, maybe stranded with Joe Biden, Enchanted with Elizabeth Warren, and what's the last one?
Bill Clinton.
Candid. Wait, does that leave Candid?
Yeah.
Candid with Bill.
Is there something you want to know or want to tell Bill Clinton?
No, I just talked to him about golf or something.
Zena's favorite hobby.
Okay, this one's for Rachel. O.J. Simpson, Adnan Syed, Amanda Knox.
What? So you made little categories here.
Yeah, I made little categories.
Little categories.
So for the listeners, O.J. Simpson is O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, why? I want the comedians.
Adnan Syed. No, I want to hear this one.
No.
Should I just do this one?
No, I'll do it.
I'll explain who they are. Adnan Syed is the subject of the podcast Serial. No, for the listeners that maybe don't know who Adnan Syed is.
They can just Google it.
Or for Zenas. And
Zena's out there.
Adnan Syed, the whole podcast is about this very mysterious murder he was
I
accused
do
of.
know Cyril.
Oh, you do know
I
Cyril.
wouldn't have recognized his name. But
Okay. And then Amanda Knox also accused of murdering her roommate in Italy under suspicious circumstances. She was acquitted. Well, she was convicted, and then it was overturned. But still a lot of like mysterious parts of that case.
Oh, and there's a Netflix documentary about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it would have to be.
wait, who's the third? Sorry.
O.J. Simpson.
Oh.
He is O.J. Simpson.
I think my Candid would have to be with O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, I don't want to spend any more time with that guy. That sounds terrifying. I think I would just kind of want to see what he's like.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have a specific thing that I would want to talk to him about.
You wouldn't want to ask him what he was doing on the night of the murder? He has to tell you the whole 100% truth. You don't have any
He
questions.
wrote a book about it. I'm
Wait,
pretty
he
sure.
has to tell the truth?
Yes,
Why would he
Candid.
have to tell the truth?
That's the part of the thing.
Oh, I kind of forgot that. See, in my mind, Candid is like they're being their real selves.
No,
so
they
he's
have
like,
to answer anything honestly.
Michael, you're just like, how are you making this magic happen in this situation?
Why is this the part of the premise that you don't accept? You
I
get to
can
hang out with O.J.
definitely
Simpson.
accept the fact that Adnan Syed is going to be super into me when we go on our Enchanted getaway together.
Right.
That's obvious.
Right.
But why would OJ tell me the truth? Just because
Yes, that's the rules of this game. Yeah, because you guys are buddies.
No.
You're like his Kato Kalin.
Kato.
Or you can swap in Kato Kalin.
Shout out to Kato.
Good friend of the podcast. It's our first guest.
And what's the last one? Oh, Stranded. I'm going to get Stranded with Amanda.
Romantic with Adnan and Candid with OJ. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was Candid, Stranded, or Enchanted. That wraps up the show. Thanks everybody for listening. If you want to catch Laura, where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter at labtalk_Laura. I'm on Facebook, Lab Talk with Laura. I'm on SoundCloud, Lab Talk with Laura.
Oh, you host Lab Talk with Laura.
Yeah, that's me. I'm the Laura. Actually.
Now it's
My
all
name's
coming
Laura.
together.
Right, yeah.
Oh, that's the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. And if you want to catch up with Dusty VCR, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at the Dusty VCR, and you can visit our website at dustyvcr.com.
And if you have any suggestions for what we could post on our Instagram, put them on our Facebook.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.